Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are Young Dolph fans, go ahead and comment the Dolph emoji right now. Let me know where y'all from, and let me know what do you think about Young Dolph, Yo Gotti, and everybody involved in this entire case. RIP to Young Dolph. Let's go. The Young Dolph footage was already seen by the people who work at the cookie shop. How did they know that Raven said her dad was in the store and he was picking up Dolph saying, "Stay with me, stay with me"? They had to have reviewed the footage before the whole MPD could even come to the scene. It was about a 25-minute gap from when the laundromat manager called 911 until MPD arrived. And in that moment of time, they could have all been sitting in the back room watching all the footage and basically trying to get their story straight of what they're going to say to the journalists, reporters, to the marshals that came and actually took statements from everybody that was on the scene. If they were in that cookie shop, then they had to have watched that video, because the video monitor is hooked up in the back manager's office room. And so anybody that knows that's worked the job or worked security, you know that the cameras to the whole building go back to one room and one computer where you watch multiple screens at the same time and actually are able to catch what's going on. This is how they catch people that do like the shop 5-finger discount, shoplifting, anything like that. So when the Dolph footage was shown on that screen, and right after everything happened, the shots rang out, the ricochets, then they rushed back to that manager's office and they pressed rewind on the footage and they were able to see it. This was ADT security cameras, and basically any business for the first 48 hours after somebody gets hit up at their location, they have to keep the footage for the feds, the 12, any law enforcement that comes and they want to get the evidence, they want to be able to actually take the eyewitness footage, then they have to keep it for 48 hours. And so this is the reason why they went and took the computers out of that back office. But when the lady was saying that her dad was in the shop and actually picking up Dolph, that means he had to have moved Dolph. Like a lot of people said, Dolph was moved to the front of the shop, and that a lot of stuff was happening in the back of the shop, the same place where the cameras were at, the same place where they have the safe with Dolph's stash, allegedly. And now the reports are coming out that Yo Gotti, he has purchased the footage for over $1 million. How did Yo Gotti get a hold of the footage? They shouldn't even let somebody like that be able to get the footage of a person who they actually have some sort of beef against. Like, how is it that they actually make the footage available to be for sale? Because, you know, a lot of times when it's ADT or another security company that has the footage and the cameras and the equipment, they actually own it. They have the rights to it. So a lot of times people call them up, they send the emails and they offer to buy the footage. This is how TMZ gets all their footage. It's the same way how TMZ gets the footage, is that they have a person that's close to the situation that actually finds out, okay, how can we get a hold of the people who own the cameras and the equipment and the Ring doorbells and everything like that. The fact that they haven't shown the Young Dolph footage to everybody to let them know that the way that it went on, him actually pulling up to the parking lot and walking in through the door, that's what a lot of people want to know. But they don't understand, no one understands why Yo Gotti would go out of his way to buy that footage unless he's in the footage in the Bentley truck that's driving by, or if one of the peoples that he has on CMG, if they're caught on camera being at that same place at that same time, then this is going to open up a RICO investigation into CMG, Yo Gotti, and the whole business dealings, because there was money put on Young Dolph's head, which at first it's like, man, why would they want to do that now at this moment? What was Young Dolph doing that caused them to want to already go ahead and put more money on his head? Like, they already tried Dolph 2 previous times, and now it's actually where they're trying to get him in his own city. The last couple of times it was out of town, Charlotte, LA, now in Memphis, when they know Young Dolph is coming back to do that turkey drive. They infiltrated the plan. they had a lot of people that was hating on Young Dolph, that basically they were trying to pay to recruit to come be part of the setup. This is why the lengthy list of suspects. You have Straight Drop, Cornelius Smith, Devin Burns, Shondale Barnett, Govan Hernandez, Big Jook, Moneybag Yo, Black Youngsta, Yo Gotti. The whole crew, man, the whole entire CMG is being looked at for this investigation, because they know for a fact that this was the last people that had any type of issues with Dolph. And it was so close to the area that the Privé restaurant was right by. It's just right around the corner. Memphis is a small town, so it doesn't take too long to get from one end to the other, especially on the day that Dolph was over there. It wasn't too much traffic. This is how people, once his location was dropped, everybody was coming out of the woodworks. Everybody was jumping out of the porch and basically hopping in the car trying to follow Dolph if they seen him on the highway. This is why they said that it was about 6 to 7 cars that were following Dolph, tailing him. And basically anytime he would take a right, they would let a couple cars get in between them, and then they would make a right also. But he didn't know, Dolph didn't know he was being followed. Like, there should have been more people around him. This is why he tried to call Snoop Bands, Big Moochie Grape. He tried to call people to be right there with him, keyglock, because at the end of the day, this was Young Dolph. He's the king of Memphis. He should have had security. He should have had a whole lot of people that were around him, but the ones that he reached out to and was trying to desperately get them to his location, they never answered the phone. They didn't show up. Everybody knew what was supposed to happen. Like, they went to do a music video at the cookie shop, was what was being said. At first, Dolph was doing an interview. They took his keys from him. Then he popped up at the Benihana's, the Ruth Chris Steakhouse is where he was at last seen, taking pictures with people. And then after that moment, they don't know exactly where Dolph went, because his keys were already missing. So he had to have taken a ride and got a ride from somebody. And they're saying that it's CCTV footage that shows Young Dolph hopping in the car in the parking lot of the Ruth Chris Steakhouse, where he was supposed to be on his way to set up for the turkey drive. But this is where he ended up getting snatched up. This is where everything kind of unraveled. There's the very last 24 hours, because Dolph family said he had not come home in 2 days. So how could they send him to go get the cookies from the cookie shop to bring back for his family and the people that are at the mansion, but then they say that he didn't come home for 2 days? So this all doesn't add up. It means that basically, once Dolph went and he was out and about at that gas station and he was wearing the yellow t-shirt, when Young Dolph was wearing the yellow t-shirt, the hat, the chains, and the glasses, and he had the watch on and everything like that, this is when everybody was starting to follow Young Dolph. He could kind of tell that it was a lot of people around him that were just parked at the gas station. They never went inside and they never pumped the gas. So this is what made him look left to right. If you see it in that picture, you could binge watch all the previous videos to get to that. Now, once he was being followed, this is when they basically knew that they had his keys. And so once Dolph switched cars and he went to that Ruth Chris Steakhouse, he thought he lost his keys. Then somebody popped up and said, "Oh, we'll take you to the next spot." Little did he know that there were already people who were actually trying to get the money that was put on his head, man. And this whole thing goes back to the fact that who has that type of money to put on somebody's head? $500,000 is a lot of money. And last time we checked, it's not that many people in Memphis that have that kind of bread, except for the usual suspects, the people who are already trying to get Dolph. Allegedly, they saying that Yo Gotti, Moneybag Yo, Black Youngsta, Big Jook, and Govan Hernandez, they were the main ones riding in that Bentley that actually, like, were trying to have, they had the $500,000 for the first person who was able to get Young Dolph. This is why they were on that scene driving by on airways, and then they went to go and drop Yo Gotti off at the airport. Yo Gotti went live at the airport in the plane. And they knew that he was trying to say that he was already en route to Atlanta, but you can't go live on the plane if the plane doesn't have the Wi-Fi. He was still on the ground in Memphis, which puts him actually within 10 minutes distance of where Young Dolph got hit up at. And they already seen the Bentley truck is what Moneybagg Yo rides around in with his girlfriend. That Bentley truck, CMG, Yo Gotti and them bought it for Moneybagg Yo when he first signed to CMG. And this is what people are leading to believe, that that was one of the getaway cars, so that they could see if the hit went down, if it happened, and who they have to pay the $500,000 to. Now, after the fact, Black Youngsta, he still went to diss Young Dolph, and he made a Young Dolph diss. He got booed off the stage in Dallas, and he basically tried to come back and do the music video at the graveyard site. And this is where the karma starts to unfold, because all of the people that was in on setting him up basically ended up getting locked up. Govan and Big Jook, they went in for interrogation. They were about to give them a lot of years, like 100 years plus, but they took the agreements, they took the plea deal to cooperate against Yo Gotti, because they knew that they weren't going to go down for what Yo Gotti ordered the hit for. Allegedly. Now, what they're saying is that basically Govan Hernandez already told on Big Jook, and Big Jook was getting ready to write statements and testify against Yo Gotti in the upcoming trial of Young Dolph's case. And now they're solving it right now. The Young Dolph lawyers, the attorney team, they reviewed every single thing. They talked to all the witnesses that were on the scene. They spoke with 007, and they know what she saw of the guys coming out of the side of the back door of the cookie shop, and they went into the Family Dollar to hide out until like it became such an attention to where Young Dolph was at the cookie shop that they were able to sneak out of the Family Dollar when people were looking over at MPD showing up at the Dolph crime scene. And once Young Dolph car was getting towed away, how did they have Young Dolph keys to tow away the car if they already took Dolph's keys from him? This is why a lot of people are led to believe that it was a whole orchestrated effort amongst a lot of people to take out Young Dolph. This is why 16 CMG members are being investigated for this entire case. And they're going to solve the Young Dolph case. So if you guys want to get justice for Young Dolph, go ahead and hit the comment section, put the dolphin emojis. Let me know where y'all from, and if you've been rocking with Young Dolph since day one. It's a lot of people who are Yo Gotti fans as well. Let me know if you guys are Yo Gotti or CMG fans, because we really want to know, what do you think about Yo Gotti? What do you think about the Young Dolph and the whole case surrounding it? Who was involved? Is it something fishy? Is it something that's not being told? And why are they hiding the footage? It's not all the other footages from a lot of other rappers has been released. We've seen it. And so now, what is it that's causing them not to display and show the Young Dolph footage? We will find out soon.